I uploaded this same video just a couple hours ago on the YouTube platform. So you're probably wondering why I took down the original video and replaced it with this one. It's because the YouTube algorithm didn't think you could handle it if you're under 18 years old. So they slapped the original with an age restriction. Now, age restrictions severely limit the viewership, and this information in this particular video is way too important to not be seen. So in order to work around mommy and daddy Google, you're going to see some additional sensor beeps and blurred images in order to get out the vital information to a wider audience. And that vital information is that there appears to be a serious, almost epidemic sickness within the ranks of law enforcement communities all across our country. And there seems to be a high concentration of this sickness in Loveland, Colorado. And people need to be aware that they don't need to drop their guard around those who walk among us with uniforms and badges. If anything, we should all operate on a more heightened level of alert when cops are in our presence. And that includes you younger people out there, as you'll soon see in this video. It seems like the tyrants of the Loveland, Colorado Police Department are going out of their way to make their beautiful city look as unattractive as possible. We now have another cop reportedly doing bad things, this time to Loveland, Colorado, known as the gateway to the Rockies and the sweetheart city, is fast gaining a reputation as police brutality and criminality central. We all know about Loveland officers Austin Hopp, Daria Jalali, and Sergeant Metzger's merciless treatment of 73-year-old grandma Karen Garner back in June of 2020 and the resulting $3 million settlement. We were witness to the June 2022 excessive force by officers Jeremiah Wood, Matt Sykla, and Evan Dunlap during the arrest of John Sears and his teenage daughter in front of their home. And we've heard about and seen 28-year-old Officer Russell Moranto's on-camera use of force on 59-year-old Angela Hall in June of 2023 in a hospital when he punched the handcuffed woman in the face. We also know about Loveland Officer William Gates' history of making wrongful DUI arrests. And then, of course, there was this in September of 2021.
Also in Loveland, 3 weeks ago, an officer shot a developmentally disabled 19-year-old man. Well, today, we learned the young man is dead. CBS 4's Rick Salinger has more on what happened when he was confronted by that officer.
This is the street where Alex Domina lived. He had a tough life. He was abused as a child, spent time in foster homes, and finally moved in here with his grandmother, where the incident occurred.
We have a young man that's having a mental breakdown. He's breaking everything and throwing stuff. We need assistance immediately, please.
When Loveland police arrived, they encountered Alex Domina in the backyard.
He's got a knife.
He does have a knife now? Okay.
Yes, he has a knife.
The young man had a mental disability and was living with his grandmother.
Hey, Alex. How's it going today, brother? You put the knife down for me, and let's just talk, man. Don't come near me. Stop. Stop, Alex. Stop, man. Don't make...
Of course, it was at this point that the officer, trembling in fear for his life and unable to disarm a kid, took the drastic step of, well, you know what happened. But it's got to be like that, right? Because officer safety trumps, well, it trumps just about everything in life you could possibly think of, including life itself.
He was shot in the abdomen and spent 3 weeks on support before passing away.
And I think this case really highlights the fact that police aren't always the best first responders, and particularly in cases of mental health crises.
Police aren't always the best first responders.
And that's putting it nicely and mildly. Not always the best first responders? How about almost always the worst first responders?
The Loveland Police Department does have 2 mental health professionals on board to respond, but they were off duty at the time, and police said this was too dangerous for them.
All of us at the Loveland Police Department, all of us, share the community's sorrow over the death of Mr. Domina.
The case remains under review by the district attorney. What is being called a celebration of Alex's life is now scheduled for Sunday at the Crossroads Church here in Loveland.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Loveland tyrants have a long history of abusing those they swore to protect and serve. And there doesn't seem to be any indication that they're going to put a halt to their brutality in a city of over 77,000 people anytime soon. There's no doubt that the Loveland, Colorado Police Department has some serious issues, and Police Chief Tim Duran has a public relations nightmare on his hands. Just last week, Duran and his Hate Land crew was basically forced to disclose that 28-year-old Officer Dylan Miller was arrested after a teenage girl came forward saying Miller sexually assaulted her several days after he conducted a traffic stop on her and several other people in late July. Several days later, the girl and another person were at a Loveland park after hours when an on-duty, in-uniform Officer Miller contacted them, told the other person to leave, and made the girl walk with him to a secluded area where he assaulted her, according to the Larimer County Sheriff's Office. Miller, of course, was fired, leaving Chief Duran to have to give a press conference.
People who victimize children deserve to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Anyone who uses their badge to do so is a disgrace to this profession and should be rooted out.
Just a few days after this, Fort Collins police arrested another Loveland police officer on suspicion of assault and, according to the Loveland Police Department, the reported incident took place in a home in Fort Collins, and police were notified about it on November 2nd. Loveland police said in a news release that after an investigation, 58-year-old Wilbert Howard was arrested on Thursday afternoon. Unlike Officer Miller's on-duty crime, the release said that Howard was off-duty at the time of the reported incident. Loveland police said that they're not releasing further information due to legal protections regarding victims who are under 18 years old. Get that, victims. That's plural. So apparently, according to how this report is written, Wilbert Howard left more than one victim. The release was quick to point out that the reported incident does not have any connection with Howard's official duties as a police officer. The only problem is cops have a particular mentality. That's why so many of them get in trouble. Howard is on administrative leave, of course, and is subject to an internal investigation in addition to the Fort Collins criminal investigation. So what do you think? Is Loveland, Colorado a good place to live when you got the protectors and servants violating and brutalizing the population? If you happen to live in Loveland, Colorado, what's your experience with the Loveland Police Department? If you know somebody who lives in Loveland, share this video with them. They may be unaware that the cops in their area are really this bad. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. That's highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, grab a hard-hitting conversation starting design from the store, become a channel member, but more importantly, fight for your freedoms. Stand for your rights. Freedom is dangerous. The only thing more dangerous is not having it. I'll see you in the next video.